Hello everybody, Dan here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. All right guys, so let's get into it. Today we have a story for you guys about Danielle Gates and her Dominican beau, Yohan Geronimo. And if you guys have been following this couple over the last couple of seasons, I think they've been on at least 3 seasons of 90 Day Fiancé and its spinoffs, and were originally on a spinoff, and then they came on to the main show, one of the few couples to actually come on the main show after the summer spinoff. I forget what it was called now. And these two, they've had their ups and downs, quite a tumultuous relationship. And I would say more downs than ups, in my opinion. And they never really felt like they meshed very well, like they were super compatible. There are just too many points of stress between these two. Number one, Danielle is, I think 11 or 12 years older than Yohan. She's 43 now, and they want to have kids. And, Danielle can't really have kids anymore, or almost can't. She's kind of like at that almost Angela Deem stage where there's just like that one egg. You guys will remember that with Angela. And so, the kid part is a bit of a stressor, but it's not just that. It's also the fact that Danielle doesn't seem to want to bring Yohan to the U.S. And so he was a little bit shocked when she dropped the news that, hey, I didn't actually even apply for your K-1 visa because I didn't even want you to come to the U.S. I really thought that the relationship was going to end then. And of course, the last time they were around, we saw on the tell-all that Yohan actually completely broke up with Danielle. And that was because Danielle was talking and hanging out with her ex-husband, which Yohan thought was just completely unacceptable and embarrassing to him as a man and as a husband. And I actually kind of agreed. I saw where Yohan was coming from in that, in that argument. But even then, I think it's been quite obvious that Yohan has been trying to get to the US, and this is the main reason that he's with Danielle. Everybody calls him a hanky-panky or whatever that term is. And so he wants to come to the US, and he's with Danielle for that reason. He's even said that on the show. Like, he's even said, I want to go to the US. I want to go to the US soon. So it's not exactly a big mystery. However, the couple, after that tell-all, they kind of got back together and they're living in the Dominican Republic, and everything seemed kind of okay, but not really. So let's see what's going on in this latest piece here, because more is coming out with these two, more drama. And what happened basically is that Yohan actually stole money. I mean, this is what Danielle is saying, stole money from her. And basically, she kicked him out. So is this the end? Like, what is going on with these two? Are these two going to make it? Because there is just so much happening, so much drama with these two. So let's take a look right here at people.com. And they have this article. This was from the episode that aired. So 90 Day Fiancé, Danielle confronts Yohan about stealing from her bank account, a nightmare. In People's exclusive clip from 90 Day Fiancé the other way, Yohan calls Danielle a selfish person while she fires back. Every single thing you have came from me. That's disgusting to even say. Now, Danielle and Yohan aren't quite seeing eye to eye when it comes to their finances. And in this, a clip from the Monday episode, yesterday's episode, the couple sit down to have a serious conversation about their finances. Now, Danielle confronts her husband for withdrawing money from her bank account and keeping the information from her. You want to humiliate me over 4,000 pesos that I took from your card? Yohan asked, to which Danielle replies, no, it's because you lied. So, I kind of see where Danielle is coming from here. So even though that 4,000 pesos, I think, comes out to something like $160 or something like that, it's still, you got to disclose that. If you're taking out from your spouse's card, you got to disclose it. You can't just take it without saying anything. That is just not okay, in my opinion. And then she says, I can look it up right now. It's actually more than 4,000 pesos, she continues, as Yohan encourages her to pull out her statements. Okay, this week there's 2,000 there. So that's one time. Then Friday you withdrew 2 times, another charge, and another charge in 1 week. Danielle says that she points out to other transactions and withdrawals for 3,000 and 5,000. Now, Yohan claims you'll find everything you've withdrawn and blame me, while Danielle knows the frequency in which these transactions have taken place. How many times? It's the 14th, 15th, 18th, 21st. You're saying I went to this bank every day? She questions. In a confessional, Danielle clarifies more about the situation. She says, in total, Johan made 4 withdrawals of $160, and this has nothing to do with the amount of money that he took out. I wouldn't even mind him taking money out of the bank if he needed it. The problem is that I asked him if he took it and he said no. That's where I'm really scared. Johan defended himself by revealing that he withdrew money in order to pay for food while his wife was away on a retreat. So these two, they just don't seem to see eye to eye. Like, these arguments, I just don't feel like at the stage of the relationship where they're at, they should be having these arguments. Like Danielle leaving and then leaving her card with him. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he has his own card. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I don't exactly know where she's going because they kind of live as if they're on a retreat. They kind of live the charmed life in the DR. But if you're leaving and then he doesn't have money and he needs to eat, then it kind of stands to reason that he probably will use the card. So these are kind of like petty arguments that I feel a couple that's been together for a few years probably shouldn't really have. Not buying his explanation, she exclaims, "Are you kidding me? You didn't because you had no food in the house. There's a freaking freezer full of meat and 20 pounds of rice at all times. Get the F out of here. I'm a thief because I took 4,000 pesos from my wife." Johan fires back, "When if I would have asked her, she wouldn't have given it to me. You're a selfish person. You only think about yourself." Now, Danielle brings up how much he's invested in this relationship and claims every single thing you have came from me. That's disgusting to even say. Wow. I don't really like when people say that. Personally, I don't like when people say everything you have is because of me. I don't know. There is something about that, like just holding money over, your partner's head. It just doesn't really sit right with me. I just don't really think that you should have that mindset in a relationship. And generally when you do, it doesn't tend to work out very well. So that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. "You don't provide for me," he retorts. "I buy my food. I pay for rent here. I pay for electricity here. So do not fill up your mouth by saying you do everything for me." Unable to see eye to eye, Danielle issues an ultimatum about their living arrangements. "Okay, so then the first day of the next month, I need half the money for all the things in the house. If you don't want to pay that, you need to live at your mom's house," she concludes. So she's basically kicking him out over these bills, over these transactions that he made without her consent, allegedly. So, wow. There's a lot of drama with these two. What do you guys think of this whole thing? Because he doesn't have a lot of money and Danielle is kind of financing their life. And in my opinion, that's kind of the reason why this relationship works anyways. It's because Danielle is financing their life. If she wasn't, I'm not exactly sure that Johan would be with her in the DR. I feel like he would probably try to find another American woman, but that's just my opinion. You guys let me know if you agree with that in the comment section down below. I think both of these two people are flawed. Now, let's take a look at this other piece that I wanted to kind of go through with you guys because, like I said, these two, I think they both kind of have shady motivations in their own ways. I think they're kind of together for the wrong reasons. And those reasons are of course, are different. But this is why I find this couple a little, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of these two. So this is what it says here. Johan married Danielle because he believed she would give him a better life in the Dominican Republic. This is, by the way, a couple of weeks or perhaps months old, but it's good to go over this information because there is some stuff that is not always said on the show. Johan is frustrated with their financial situations and believes that if Danielle wants to stay in the DR, she should be contributing more to their good life. Johan is unhappy with his marriage to an American woman because he feels like he has nothing and compares it to a horror story. So Johan compared his marriage not very long ago to a horror story, which is why, it's just another reason actually of why I really didn't think these two were going to stay together. Now, Johan Geronimo is not beating around the bush when it comes to talking about why he married Danielle Gates. Danielle, 43, from NYC, left her adult son, Thomas, and her job in the U.S. behind when she met Johan, 32, during a vacay in the DR. Danielle had only known Johan for 5 months when they got married in 90 Day Love in Paradise. That's the show name that I forgot in my intro. That's the one. Danielle moved to La Romana in season 4, much to Johan's dismay since he wanted to go to the U.S. And that's been a source of friction. Absolutely. Now, Johan wants Danielle to have a baby naturally, which is not easy given her age. And this also created a rift between the couple. Daniele has financial difficulties while Yohan has lost both of his jobs, and the meat shop was also shut down. Moreover, Daniele shattered Yohan's dream by not applying for a spousal visa, which kind of begs the question, if they don't even want to have a spousal visa, why are they even on the show, right? I mean, isn't that what the show is supposed to be about? So I don't really get it. It's like they're trying to say, kick us off. But of course, TLC is not going to do that. She insisted Yohan would rather get a tourist visa to accompany her on short trips. I somehow really doubt that. I don't think that's true at all. Daniele in reality doesn't trust Yohan enough to get him a green card. She has reason to, because Yohan has revealed his malicious intention behind marrying her. He's clearly not in love with her and doesn't care about her. Now, things can change, of course. Things with Daniele and Yohan, have been intense. They were not able to agree on what they wanted. Yohan came clean to his cousin Alberto on last season's episode 12. He revealed that Daniele told him she always wanted to live in the DR and promised him they would have a good life. While they live in a good apartment, they must keep paying rent every month. He was expecting Daniele to buy him a house of their own and a car. So this is what Yohan is expecting. And this is why it's interesting when, when we read stuff that, or even when we see what Yohan says. So he kind of is a bit two-faced, in my opinion. He kind of tries to convey this image that he's the big man, he is the breadwinner, and he's, he has this kind of ego. But then on the other hand, he doesn't seem to have any problem with taking a handout from Daniele. And in fact, sometimes demands it. But then when the whole angle doesn't look favorably upon him, he kind of takes that back, walks that back, and then is like, I'll pay for my share. But then, once again, he's like, okay, well, this is what I want. I want a car, I want an apartment, I want all of these things if we're gonna do this your way. So he kind of, toes this line, I guess I could say, of, between this kind of macho, kind of like, slightly egotistical kind of male to this person that doesn't have a lot of trouble taking a handout. And so for me, from my perspective, I'm not sure how much I trust Yohan. In fact, I don't really trust him. And when he talks, I don't know how much of what he says I buy. And that's not excusing Daniele whatsoever. Like I said, these people are both selfish, self-interested, and they're in this relationship for the wrong reasons. And Daniele has tons of faults, plenty of faults, and she gets tons of hate, and deservedly so. But that doesn't mean that we have to buy what Yohan is selling either. So, so he married her basically because he wanted to live like a king. When Yohan told Daniele about a friend of his who was dating an American woman and has received an apartment and car in return, she called that woman stupid. Yohan doesn't feel it because the woman is helping her husband. According to Alberto, all that Yohan got in his one-year marriage was a dog, and he basically became the puppy babysitter. So, yeah, so this relationship is there's just so many red flags, guys. I don't know if you guys agree, but there's just so many red flags. And here we have 90 Day the Melanated Way. I really enjoyed this account on Instagram. And she says, I'm pretty sure it's a she. I really like this couple together. But I don't know that I fully agree with that because I just don't really see the compatibility with these two. So, like I said, on one hand, Yohan is, saying that he's going to be the man. He's going to be an equal partner. And on the other hand, there's just all this information about him demanding and expecting free things from his American wife. So it's really hard to wrap my head around all of this. Now, what do you guys think about this whole thing? Do you guys think that Daniele kind of kicking Yohan out, I don't think it's the end, but do you guys think this is going to be the beginning of the end? Because, of course, they're in the DR, and so I think this is just a temporary thing, but I really think that this can escalate, into perhaps a breakup, a real and final breakup down the line. There just seems to be, to me, too many incompatibilities here. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think before long that we're going to see a single Daniele and a single Yohan who might be looking for another American woman? Who knows? Who knows? It's a possibility to come back on the show. So let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video about these two. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. Hit that subscribe button somewhere down below for more 90 Day Fiancé and reality TV content right here on the channel. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.